Hello, back once more. I decided to add again, fairly decent load. What's that? To my rucksack bag. So yeah, I guess that's what you call a bit of rocking in the fitness world. But it's been fine. Anyway, why is he rambling on again with another recording, you may ask? Well, the simple reason for that is been going cool on the cob here. I do like that. The simple reason is that, as I was just displayed about 20 seconds ago, rubbish litter. Now, around this neck of the woods you don't tend to find a great deal, but and some of the other places which I go walking or running around, you tend to find quite a lot. This sort of stuff, for instance. And it's quite funny, this tends to be, as I will show you in a picture, which hopefully with my editing skills, or lack thereof, will turn up in a few seconds, showing some of the stuff that you find when you go out litter picking. And it's interesting, isn't it? Well, actually, sorry, I'll reiterate, I don't go litter picking, but I kind of just pick up litter on the way while doing other stuff. What you tend to find in these things, when you pick litter up, is they tend to be some sort of either very sugary food, or some other highly fattening processed junk wrapped in a bit of plastic wrapping and then just dumped on the floor. Now, it seems to me that that's not a coincidence. Not in the slightest. Because some of the types of people who couldn't care less about the environment that they were, about the nature that is around them, also will likely be the types of people who don't care about themselves, or don't care about, well, anything, but also, about their own, they not care about their own sort of, healthiness, their own self-control, their own nations, their own faiths, if they have one. And what a symptom of Western decline. What a symptom of modernity, maybe. For even in the decline phases of our civilizations, you didn't tend to find people who just who live the way that some of our present folk do. It's a tragic shame. And while I, in the last video, talked about scientism and the consequences of such a belief system, the consequences of such a belief system, I could have mentioned as well the consequences of indifference, because while there are a group of people who are very committed to the science, to progress, to all these sorts of other things. There are also people who just couldn't care less, and maybe even some of those people who regard themselves as progressives may not even be in like the scientist or sort of ideological camp. They might just not care and kind of are latching onto it because others are doing it. Some old piece of farming equipment there. While I do litter pick, I think that's a bit it's quite ambitious. I probably won't be able to pick that thing up. So it's very bushy. This is proper snake terrain, I would say. We do have snakes here in the UK, but the only one is dangerous, the adder, and even that usually doesn't kill you. Let's get up on this pathway up here. It's probably a bit easier. Yeah, so what was I saying before all of that? Yes, there are people who don't care. There are people who are perfectly willing to litter around or litter stuff and drop these processed wrappers, these wrappers which contain processed junk inside of them and sugary death. There are those people in this world, and it makes you think that I think they're the type of people who will just go along with any regime. They'll go along with any of its ideals that it seeks to impose upon them. Because in a way they're just quite happy in whichever way. We're just quite happy not caring. But that's a sad thing. But I shouldn't also think it's like a symptom of modernity and completely, because humanity is after all in a fallen state. Humanity is after all immoral at heart. Well, they will always, not at heart maybe, but how should I describe it? They will always tend towards, human nature will always tend towards sin. Usually, this is natural progression. Unfortunately, it's one sort of natural state, and that's quite a hard thing to realise, but something we must do nonetheless. Yeah. So, what's the point of this? I guess to wrap up, what's the point of this wandering thoughts? Oh, did it again. SD card. I really should start deleting some of these things. Well, don't know if you caught any of the last thing, but before I cut out. But subscribe to my good friend, very intelligent friend, very wise and kind friend, Lobster, who's been selflessly promoting my own channel. Subscribe to him for the one person other than him who's watching this video. Have a wonderful day, and pick up later and care about stuff. Goodbye.